Recording. Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to another Soulful Ascension podcast. My name is Linda Joy BENN. And before we get started with this week's energy update, thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed either to YouTube or on any of my platforms, as well as my newsletter and the Substack, as well as all the social media platforms. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to send out my gratitude because I really appreciate each and every one of you. We're all in this collective journey together as we are all going through this initiation, and that's the energy. Remember, 2025 is all about change and transformation, and that's exactly what the energy of November is all about. It is a powerful month of change and transformation. So that's what I'm going to go deeper into in this week's podcast episode, because we have the full moon in Taurus on Wednesday, November the 5th. And then on Sunday, November the 9th, Mercury goes retrograde, though we're already feeling the energy of Mercury retrograde because we're in the shadow of that. Plus, with all the other planets that are aligning and the water trines, it's just bringing up a lot of emotions. And there's a lot of shifts happening on all levels, not just for individuals, but for the planet as well. Wherever you are living in the world, we are seeing hurricanes and tornadoes and cyclones and thunderstorms and hailstorms here in Brisbane, where we're all like, it's usually only cyclone season, but every country is experiencing a lot of water. So what this is doing is cleansing, but with this full moon in Taurus, because Taurus is an earth sign, so it's all about the earth. Then with Scorpio, which is a water sign, and so the two together, that's what we are feeling this month of November. And with when you join earth and water, it actually brings light. That's where you plant seeds, that's where you grow things. So it's going to be a powerful new moon on November the 20th, but I'll talk more about that in another episode. Though this week, I really encourage you to do your burning ritual and to burn out all those blind spots that we've been talking about, those unconscious parts, the shadows, because what the full moon is doing is illuminating those areas, looking at those patterns and behaviors and those addictions, and looking at those patterns of maybe a lack of self-worth, lack of self-love, lack of self-acceptance, self-approval, and the wounded inner child, and also your values. And so this is what we are really going deep into, especially this week, is your opportunity to write out everything that's coming up. Maybe you want to write out your story of your life from childhood, and just doing a quick summary of what emotions are coming up from all of those significant emotional events. And I do this with my VIP coaching clients, but we go much deeper and then we unpack it and clear the energy. Though this is an exercise that you can do, and burn it under the full moon and purge. This is about doing an emotional detox, and really looking at what emotions are coming up to be healed, to be cleared, to be dissolved, as well as doing a physical detox. This is a great time to actually declutter. And because the whole month of November, we are going to be in retrograde with Mercury starting this Sunday. When it's a retrograde, that's a time to slow down. So this is where all the R's come in. We have, and that's a bit like my 5 R's, which is release, realign, restore, rebalance, and re-energize. Though add in reevaluate, recalibrate, and rest, because resting and sitting in stillness and going within is what the energy is calling you to do. And with the earth sign, I also recommend to go out into nature, because what nature will do is help you to ground in that energy. The more you can connect to the trees, to the plants, to the flowers, and truly look at them and spend time with them. I know this sounds woo-woo. I've been telling my clients this for years, but when you can just pull back your energy away from the external world of chaos and just go to a park, go and sit in a garden and just enjoy the beauty of the flowers and enjoy the beauty that God gives it to us. Like, God gave us all these beautiful flowers, all different shapes and colors and sizes and smells, and so that's to help to beautify our earth, but also for us to just stop and appreciate and have gratitude for all the beauty around us. So the more you can just pull back your energy and spend time in nature this week and for the whole month of November, I highly recommend it. Okay, because what this will do is just to help you to recalibrate, to realign, because our everything's changing on all levels. So much is shifting and changing. Relationships are changing, work situations, companies are changing, the environment is changing. And what it's doing is purging out, clearing out, and that's what we're all experiencing and going through right now. Um, and the more you can pull back your energy, and I know I've said this before, but what this will do is unplug from the chaos and the drama in the external world, because there's, especially in online, there's uh, a lot of videos that are negative, and it just kind of gets you sucked into this negative hole, and then the algorithms just keep feeding you more and more. And what this does is brings your energy vibration down, whereas when you can just shift out of that and do a digital detox and actually make a new choice and going, right, no more. I'm not watching any more on whatever's going on, because it's a lot of control, a lot of manipulation, what we're seeing. And this is where we get to make a choice and follow our truth. And that is how we take back control of our own life, and to just focus on you. Really go within, listen to your soul and what's coming up for you. What is this full moon shining on? Those patterns and programs and those areas that still need and require healing. Talk to your inner child and what does he or she need, and look at those wounded parts and have love and compassion for yourself, and keep giving love and compassion to yourself. Be kind and gentle with yourself, and go and do loving things, or just pull your energy back and just go have a bubble bath or an Epsom salts or a magnesium bath. Now, as lots of emotions are coming to the surface to be healed and cleared, if you feel a lot of anger or rage, remember Taurus can either be the raging bull or sit and smell the roses and flowers. Okay, I'm a Taurus, so I know this energy very well. And hello to all the Taurians out there. I love you. And we all know our characteristics. So, but when the energy is like, oh, I have to shift this energy, that's why I go to the gym. That's why I exercise and do workouts, because it helps me to shift the energy. But if the gym is not your thing, maybe just going for a walk around the block, or putting some music on and dancing in your living room, or run up and down stairs. There's always stairs wherever you live. Find some stairs, even if it's in someone else's apartment block. Go run up and down the fire exit stairs, just to shift that energy. I remember when I lived in London, and I used to do that just for exercise, and they all thought I was crazy, but because most of them would all sit and watch soaps on TV or go to the pub. That wasn't my thing, whereas I like to stay active. So that's just who I am. But it's also a great way to shift your energy. Also yoga. So that's the extreme of the dynamic moving of the energy. You can also go to a yoga class and do lots of deep breathing and breathe through and feel that energy. And that's another way of purging out and healing these emotions that are coming to the surface. Remember, it's just energy and motion. And as you're clearing it, you will feel so much lighter. And that's what we are all going through as a soul right now. Okay. And then from that place, that's where you come into alignment, and you magically create and attract those miracles in your life, because it's the universe is going to deliver those miracles when you're in alignment with those dreams and those miracles. Whereas if you're still holding on to these wounded parts, or these negative beliefs and stories, or feeling unworthy, then the universe is going to match whatever that energy vibration is. So this is why it's so critical for us to all do our own inner work and take responsibility for our actions, for our behavior. No one can do this for us. But also during this Mercury retrograde, just as you're pulling back your energy, because it is the communication planet, this is where be careful or be aware. I wouldn't be buying new appliances or signing contracts or big projects and things like that. This is where and if you are buying a house or something big, read all the fine print. Okay. But with communication, this is about having clear communication with all the emotions coming up. This is where the triggers happen. This is where the reactions and people can lash out and say things. And if it's people that are close to you, I actually, my family is a good example, because how they speak, because we're they're non-spiritual, okay, though they have been my biggest teachers, and how they speak is very belittling and very uh, say gaslighting, and that's just, you know, who they are. Although it's my job to ask them, can you reframe that? Can you say that in another way? Or what do you mean by that? An example of this last Christmas when I was staying with my mother, and I actually said to her, can you say that with love and compassion, instead of the nasty way that she was speaking to me? And automatically, what that did was shifted something in her to bring her awareness to, oh, it's like a jolt to your energy system where it's like, whoa, okay, how am I communicating? So, with family members around you, especially, I know November is Thanksgiving. So a lot of families are getting together. This is a really good practice, and that you can actually implement, and just ask, what do you mean by that? Or can you say that in a different way? Or what's the question? I don't quite understand. And just see what happens. Let me know. Let me know. Because this is how we are all teachers for one another, and we are all learning and growing. And those around us are our teachers, especially if they are projecting their emotions onto us negatively. This is where we can get to speak up from our heart with love and just say, you know, I'm not sure what you're saying. Can you ask me in another way? And let me know what happens. Okay. Um, so this is a time of just regrouping and looking at everything in your life. So this whole month is also a magical time of completing projects. And I know for me, I have been working on my website. It is live finally, which I'm so happy and grateful and thankful. It looks beautiful. We are just now fixing up all the links and fixing up and tweaking a lot of things. So if you go to lindabenn.com, you will see a huge contrast in the website, though please bear with us while we fix up a lot of things in the background, as well as getting all the new courses online as well. And so these are all the projects I have been working on in the background to be of service to humanity and to help as many people as I can. So lindabenn.com, keep checking because there's going to be a lot of new things added, and just, yeah, with the links, if you click on a link, just send an email to me, linda@lindabenn.com, if the link doesn't work and you'd like to. I believe all the sessions, you can book sessions, though any of the courses, if there's any glitches, just let me know. So I'll talk more about the new moon on November the 20th later on, because this is where we're planting seeds. But this month of November is really about focus, 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 and what do you value? What what you're putting energy into, is there an energy exchange? And just really looking at How are you feeling? Checking in with your emotions on a daily basis, on a moment to moment basis. Everything that we are doing in our life, everything that we are interacting with, just keep checking in with your emotions. How does it feel? And be very intentional, and make sure that it's always aligned with you for your highest good and destiny. Okay, I'm going to choose some cards, which I'm going to choose the Good Tarot and choose a couple of cards from a couple of different decks. And during this quiet time of reflecting and going in, this is a good time to maybe catch up on reading books, listening to online courses, listening to podcasts, and anything that's going to help you with your personal and spiritual growth. So when you're just scanning, it's like what are, when you're doing your search, it's like ask the universe to point you to the best course, online course, best book, for your highest good and destiny, and for your healing. And whatever, you can look at a bookshelf or maybe go to the library and look at the books and just go, okay, which book jumps off the shelf? And that's how I choose a lot of books. It's like, okay, universe, I need a message right now. And which book has that message? And then when you open up just whatever page, read that section, read that page, read that chapter, because there's something in that message which helps you. And I remember years ago, when the Bali bombing happened, and I actually lost a girlfriend in that, and I was really upset after that event, obviously. And this particular day, I felt really down. I was like, it was a jazz festival, and Jody was always, the life of the party, and I was feeling really down, and I asked Spirit, show me a book on my shelf that can help me right now. And the book that jumped out was by Brian Weiss, The Many Lives, Many Masters. And where the bookmark was, I read that chapter and it was the perfect message for me. From memory, this is going back about over 20 years ago. I think it was chapter 5, whatever. If those of you who have that chapter, I believe it was that, though. I have so many different bookmarks in so many different books. And that was the other synchronicity. The bookmark in that book, I got in Bali. It was bookmarked from Bali. So how's that? So this is how the universe can actually help guide you to the perfect message that you require right now. And this is the importance of slowing down and listening to your inner guidance, and then just taking those next steps. Okay. So we are, that one flipped. Okay. We have 4 of fire, and so being the full moon, we are burning away. So what are you burning away this week? And purging out and clearing. So the 4 of fire is a new creative phase, celebration, pleasure, and harmony in relationships. Dancers have partners, singers have musicians, helping them create sweet music. and I find others who are in sync with me and my desire. It's a time for celebrating friendship and all that others bring into my life, a time for revelry and relishing at the pleasures of being in good company. Making magic together with others is the focus at this time. So that's one of the messages for us. It's the Four of Fire. And if you've got any questions, pop them into the comments, into the chat, and happy to answer those for you. And I'm going to choose another card from the Psychic Tarot. And so the other thing before I choose that, talking about the earth sign of Taurus. Taurus, Taurians, one of the characteristics is we love our food, we love being creative, and we love tasty food, and also it's earth, so we love being in the garden, and this is where, you know, maybe getting your hands into the earth and the dirt and doing some gardening or repotting of plants. Though with the food, this is the nurturing and nourishing of the food that you're feeding your body. So this month, as you're reflecting and going within, be aware of the food that you are ingesting, and is it for your highest good and destiny? Is it food that is nurturing your body? This is what I go much deeper into in the BENN Method, balance, energy, nurture, and nourish. But think of when you're having a meal, actually do a blessing. This is in one of my courses that I will put online for you, and it's blessing your food. So this is where your body and this vehicle, this beautiful body that we have in this lifetime, for our soul to have this experience, is an our practice of nurturing our body and nourishing our body with the best possible nutritious food, as well as feeding our mind and body with all the things that we listen to, what we interact with, the activities that we do. So this is where nurturing your body on all levels, that's the focus this month. So I just thought of that. So just adding that in, because when you can return, come back to the body, remember, connect to the earth, keep grounding, breathing, deep breaths, and just stop and reflect and remove all distractions, because sometimes the mind, that monkey mind, it's like, oh, I have to do this, I have to multitask, I have to, you know, do all these things at the same time. But if you just sit in stillness, that's where the messages will come in. And it's in those moments, that's the magic, that's the miracles, those magical moments that you are creating. Okay, this one jumped out. So financial and material changes. So this is so perfect, because Taurus is also about finances, feeling secure. It's an earth sign. It's about security, but we also, and it's also about the material world. And as we're decluttering and clearing out the clutter, and so looking at your finances, but also with the Scorpio, it's can be impulsive, it's like, oh, gotta do. And it's very active because water is always flowing, right? So it's like when you are stopping and pulling back your energy, well, then you can choose which way you flow and which way you flow your finances, and just trust those voices, the inner guidance, your inner heart voices, and which is higher consciousness, which is your higher self. And so whenever you are making those choices, how does it feel? And just only make the choices that make you feel good. So let's pull up the extended message of this. Hang on. So we have the number 5 is physical card, represents change, challenges, and losses, usually related to material or financial concerns. You may be losing some of the things around you, but you must acknowledge and know that besides existing as a physical being, you're an incredible and resourceful spiritual entity. Use your powerful forces within to help you through this difficult period. Everything changes for a reason, and this time isn't meant to be a punishment. Know that your current conditions will transform for the better. A positive question to ask yourself now is, what did I learn from this, and how can I avoid it in the future? Remember that there are lessons to be understood in everything. It's up to you and you alone, and to decide how long it will take for you to learn. And that's exactly, we've all made choices and spent money on things where it's like, oh, well, that wasn't the best choice, but what did I learn from that? And the more we can learn from every situation, that's where we stop the cycle, and also release that energy and release the emotions attached to that decision, and just learn from it. And then we're not going to repeat it in the future. So that's the financial and material changes. This is a good time to clean out and maybe have a big garage sale. And just when you're reflecting, just ask, do I truly need or want to keep this thing, or keep all these things, okay, all the material stuff? And so you will feel so much lighter when you have just cleared out a whole bunch of material objects, because what that does emotionally is shift the energy. So there's so much to look forward to. This month is really a magical month. So spend this time going within, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday on next Monday's Soulful Ascension episode. If you have any questions, email me, linda@lindabenn.com, or go to my website, lindabenn.com, and you can book a session, or there's all the other services that I offer there. And thank you again for subscribing and following and sharing this with others who it could benefit. So thank you. I appreciate you. Have a magical week, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Bye for now.